Good afternoon, class. Today we're going to be talking about hunting, and not just from a why you should do it aspect, but more of a mutual understanding. There are a lot of people who are hunters, there are a lot of people who are against hunting, and there are many people who just don't care either way. It doesn't affect their everyday life, they don't see it or hear about it, so why bother? Hunting is a sport, now it is classified as a sport. It is an event that has been around since the beginning of man. And it's been used for a variety of reasons throughout the ages, whether it's for celebration, praise to a god, for sport, or just for food. On the opposite side, there are also some negative aspects or views regarding hunting, that it's cruel or mean to harm an animal and things of that nature. So if that's the case, if such a broad spectrum exists, why do people hunt at all, especially in today's time? There can be benefits to hunting. There can be helpful things for the hunter, the person that is hunting, as well as the environment. What are some of those? And lastly, the negative aspect, is it wrong to hurt an animal? And if so, in what cases does that actually exist? So these are a few of the things we're going to be taking a look at today. So we'll go ahead and jump right in with, first and foremost, why do people hunt? Especially in today's time, you can go to Walmart and buy food. So why do we hunt? And there's a couple different reasons why. The number one reason why you'll hear many people say they hunt or enjoy hunting is for food. And yes, we can go to the store and get food, but on the opposite side of that, there are so many different studies and rumors and suggestions and maybes regarding many GMOs and antibiotics and things of that nature that just make it really hard to understand what you're ingesting. What are you getting? Is it going to hurt you? Is it not going to hurt you? We don't know. That guy says yes. That lady says no. We just have no idea. And if you go out in the woods and you do the work yourself, then it is 100% natural. You don't have GMOs or antibodies, no growth hormones, nothing like that. It takes that worry off your plate. And for some people, getting rid of one stress is just worth it. Another reason that people like to hunt is the experience. Seeing the world wake up in the morning or go to sleep in the afternoon as the sun comes up and sun goes down, seeing the squirrels wake up and start chattering and playing around, or, slowly hearing the bird chirping go down as the sun sets and the owls start coming awake. It's an incredible experience, and unless you have done it yourself, it's not something that anyone will ever be able to truly explain to you. And as a result of not really being able to create that picture, I don't want to waste too much of your time with that. But it is amazing if you get the chance to just go sit in a tree stand first thing in the morning or in the afternoon, even if you don't want to hunt something. It is very unique, and I would highly recommend it because it is one of the most amazing things I've seen. It's absolutely phenomenal. Another reason is camaraderie. Grabbing a couple of your friends, going out on a weekend hunt. It's not as simple as just sitting in a tree and shooting something. Every time you go out, you won't see anything. Many people who hunt or are avid hunters will tell you that it really should be called sitting and waiting. You go out 9 out of 10 times, you won't see anything. Maybe that one time you do see a deer or a turkey that you're going at, and of the 5 times you may see something, you may actually get one true shot, one you can actually take. And again, it's a lot of luck. It's a lot of hope. And like I mentioned earlier, there can be benefits to hunting. It's especially in scenarios like that. You mean out of every 20 times you go out, you maybe get to shoot one time? Yeah. So if that's the case, what are some of the benefits? We'll start with some of the benefits that can be for the environment. First and foremost, I'm not going to give you the population control thing because that's not true. As a hunter, ideally what we want is the population to grow or at bare minimum remain stable. Otherwise, we have no game to go out and chase, right? So one way we support are fees. We pay a lot of different fees. They're attached to firearms, to archery gear and equipment, to hunting gear. They're built into the price you pay in a store. And these fees all go towards wildlife management and conservation. Just to give you an idea, this is the state of Florida hunting license. It's glorified receipt paper. It probably cost them $5 for a 150-foot roll. This 6 inches cost $18 for me. Why? Because it says for this year, I'm allowed to go out and hunt. And that's just the license. For every game you want to go for, there's an additional fee. You want to add turkeys, that's another $5 or $6. Deer, that's another $5 or $6. You want to go out for archery season, there's another 5 or 6. And all of this money goes back into those funds, back into wildlife management and preservation. And it's estimated that hunters on a yearly basis donate roughly $800 million to these funds. And if we want the population to grow, then why do we hunt? And one thing that protects the population are many of the hunting laws that were enacted back in the 1900s. Those laws put bag limits, or how many animals you can take per season. Just to kind of give you an idea, for 2018, the University of Florida did a study and suggested that we had roughly about a population of 700,000 white-tailed deer. This same year, 56,000 were estimated to be taken during hunting season. That's less than 10% of the population. We donate a lot of money back to helping those populations grow and continue to grow. We don't want them to fall. Then that takes the sport away, right? Doesn't really make sense to take them off. For the hunter, it creates a mental and a physical aspect. First off, if I do get lucky enough to take a deer or a turkey, whatever I'm shooting, I need to be able to get it out of the woods. So I have to be physically prepared for that. And from a mental perspective, there's a lot of things I have to work on. I have to be patient. I know in my normal life prior to being a hunter, patience was not a virtue for me. Still probably questionable at this point, but it's something I've had to work on because, again, sitting and waiting, right? And going out on the chase and knowing all the rules and laws. Fair chase is something extremely important to know. And that basically means whatever animal I'm going after has the ability to get away. I have a chance to shoot them, sure, but they also have a fair chance to be able to evade me or to get away. So it's fair for both of us in this effort or attempt, which will go into the last part. Isn't it wrong to kill an animal? And that's always going to be a loaded question that no one's going to, you can't definitively say yes or no to. Why is that? Well, realistically, of everyone watching this video, probably 90% of you have had a hamburger, chicken, pork in some way, shape, or form. It's really not any different than that. Not at all. And the reason why, and part of it are the ethics of hunting. If you're going to go out with the intent on shooting an animal or taking an animal, then there's a few things that we abide by. First off, it has to be a quick and swift death. We don't want an animal to suffer or to go on extensively unnecessarily. We want to be able to take the shot, and we want them to expire quickly so there's no suffering on their part. Another is to ensure that we are utilizing anything that we are able to do so from that hunt. You don't just shoot an animal and walk out of the woods. You don't leave it alone, nothing like that. So if none of it is being wasted, so to speak, and there's no extensive suffering, we're not torturing anyone or anything, then is it really that bad of a sport? Maybe, maybe not. At the end of the day, it is going to be an opinion. It's estimated roughly 10% of the population are hunters, and that roughly another 10% of the population are very opposed to it. The other 80%, like I mentioned earlier, don't care either way. And we have a lot of ethics and rules that are in place to ensure that even non-hunters are respected, and we have courtesy for them. You'll never see us walk into a grocery store with blood on our camos or anything of that nature. You may see us walking around in camos, but nothing to indicate that we recently hunted. And these are all ethics in hunter, and that all hunters abide by to ensure that we're respecting the animals that we're going after, the people around us, whether they're hunters or not hunters. Overall, hunting is a very unique sport. It is not for everyone. And at the end of the day, anyone who is a hunter has to admit the fact that we are a predator. So we may not necessarily be for everyone, which is why such a small population of hunting, or of the population, are hunters. And that's okay. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But I do believe it is important to truly understand the sport before passing judgment on it. Overall, there are a lot of benefits to a person who has decided to hunt. There are a lot of benefits that go into the environment as well. And while there may very well be some things that can be viewed in a negative light, you really have to take a look at the whole picture to really understand where someone who has opted for that lifestyle has decided to go that route. I wish everyone luck, and I hope you all have a great day.